Budgeting. The learning goal is that I can plan a budget. Suppose a school is planning to replace some grade 5 classroom supplies. What should they plan for? Find out the costs of some of the supplies. So let's think about what we use in our classroom. We've got lined paper, we need pencils, whiteboard markers, pencil crayons, calculators, and geometry sets. And if we did some searching on the web, we might find that a pack of paper costs $5.29 for a package of 400 sheets. And pencils, you can get a 10-pack for 99 cents. Whiteboard markers, we can get a 16-pack for $21.99. Pencil crayons, $4.49 a pack. Calculator, we can get an inexpensive calculator for $5.98. And a geometry set costs $6.99. So that gives us some idea of the kind of costs we're going to have when we set up our budget. So to do our budget, we have to think about the quantity of each of the items that we're buying. So we're going to say we need 5 packs of 400 sheets of paper. So 5 times $5.29 would be $26.45. 6 times 99, that's almost $6, but a little bit less, so it's 6 cents less, $5.94. 4 times $21.99, that's like 4 times 22, which would be 88, minus 4 cents, which would be $87.96. 10 times $4.49 is easy one, 44.90. 20 times $5.98, that would be like 20 times 6, which would be 120, minus 40 cents, so $119.60. And 20 times $6.99, that would be like 20 times $7 minus 20 cents, so 20 times 7 would be 140, or 139.80. Once we've got the total amount for each one, then we want to add up everything in this column to figure out our total budget. And when we total it all up, it comes to $524.65. Now, that's before taxes. Remember from our lesson earlier on, we had to figure out our taxes. And in Ontario, there's 13% sales tax. So 524.65 times 0.13. So it gives us 682045. Now we've got 4 decimal places that we have to work into our answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the tax will be $68.20 of tax. We'll add that to our total cost of $524.65 to get our total price, including taxes, of $592.85. How might the school pay for things in the budget? Well, they could collect money from parents. We could hold a fundraiser of some kind, try to get money from people other than parents. We could ask the school board for some money, who get their money from the taxes that people pay. Or we could make our students get a job. Okay, now they want us to choose one of the budgets here to plan things out. Give yourself an amount of money to spend that makes sense, and describe how you would spend it. Estimate your cost to make sure that you don't spend too much, and show how you estimate. So I'm going to take the first one, which is a budget for a team celebration at the end of the season. So we want to start off with some amount of money and think about how we would spend it.
Okay, let's assume we're planning our team celebration and we've got a budget of $200. And let's assume there are 20 people on the team that we need to look after for the party. So chips, let's assume each bag of chips is maybe $5, and maybe we need 4 of those, so that'll give us a total of $20 for chips. Then pizza, say a pizza is $15, and we need, let's see, how many pizzas are we going to need? We've got 20 people, and we want to assume each person gets 3 pieces of pizza. That means we need 60 slices. And if each pizza has 8 slices per pizza, that means we've got 60 divided by 8 is going to tell us how many pizzas we need. I know that 7 times 8 is 56, so that's not enough. We want to have 60 or more, so that means we need 8 pizzas, which will give us a total of 64 slices. So we'll have a few left over for sure. So we've got 15 times 8. Let's see, 2 times 15 is 30. 4 times 15 is 60. That means 8 times 15 is 120. Now the pop, let's assume that we can buy them in bulk and we'll get enough so that each pop costs us $1. And we need 20 of those, so that's another $20. And the cake, let's try to get a nice cake and say that's going to be $35. Adding it all up, we've got 35 and 20 makes 55, and 120 makes 175, plus another 20 is $195. So my first thought is, oh, that's good, we're within budget. However, we've forgotten something. We've forgotten sales tax. So if I do a quick estimate on my sales tax, remember that sales tax in Ontario is 13%, which is pretty close to 15%. 15% can be broken down into 10% and 5%, adding those two together. And 10% is easy to do because 10% of 195 just means we move the decimal place one position. So we've got 1950 plus another 5%, so we want half of that. And half of 1950. Half of 1950 is a little bit tricky to do right off the bat. But I know that if I go down to 18, half of 18 is 9. Then half of 19 is adding in another $0.50, so that makes 950. And then half of 50 is 25, so that means half of 1950 is 975. Adding those together, so we've got $29.25 in tax if it was 15%. So we know that this is going to be a little bit higher than what it should be, but it's a pretty good estimate. So it's not too hard to see that adding $29.25 to $195 is going to end up being bigger than $200. So we know then that we've got a little bit of an issue with our budget. Probably the easiest thing to do would be to maybe cut back on the pizza a little bit or reduce the number of chips, but we've got to do something to bring our budget in line here. So maybe we want to figure out exactly what our difference needs to be, how much we need to save. So we're at $224.25. So basically we need to take $25 off our price. If we cut one pizza, that would save us $15. And another bag of chips, maybe take out 2 bags of chips, that'll save us another $10. So that would save us $25. So we can cut that down to 2, cut that down to 7, and then we'll end up staying in budget because this is only be 10 and this will be 105. So we could do some things, make some changes, and we could stay on budget.
Lesson summary. A budget is a plan related to money you have or expect to have. A budget should give a complete list of the things you plan to buy and how much they cost. It should also include how much money you have available to spend. Here's an example for a party, much more detailed than the one we just went through. And we're given a limitation that Bella only has $50 to spend. So she's accounted for pizza, cupcakes, a fruit platter, juice boxes, party balloons, party favors, napkins, cups and plates, and a back-to-school banner. It's a pretty comprehensive list. However, when she adds everything up, multiplying the quantities times the prices, she ends up with $61.60, but she only has a budget of $50. So the planning has helped her make the decision in advance of actually purchasing things. So clearly this plan needs some work. The budget only has $50, but the costs are going to be $61.60. Bella needs to decide which items she'll take out of the budget. In other words, which items is she not going to buy for the party. So she's got to take out $11.60. So I guess looking for some big things right away. So we can take the fruit platter out. That saves us $8.50. If we take the party balloons out, we're now at $11. That would leave us only 60 cents over budget, which is probably pretty close. Probably close enough. But if we had to do it another way, we could maybe instead take out the party favors and the balloons and leave in the fruit platter. Probably a better nutritional decision. Some budgets provide a plan for getting money as well as spending money. For example, organizers have $200 to plan a school fundraiser. This budget considers what they need to buy ahead of time and how much money they might make. Here's a detailed breakdown. So the money they have for making the fundraiser happen is $200. You have to spend money to make money. They need to buy drinks, snacks, pumpkins, apples, decorations, and prizes. So their expenses are going to be $196. Then when they look at how much they might raise, they're going to sell tickets. They estimate they'll sell 50 of them at $3 a piece for $150. Adults will charge a bit more, and they'll sell 40 of those for $5 a piece. Then cold drinks, going to sell 48 at $1 a piece, and snacks, they're hoping to sell 60 at $1.50 each. In total, they hope to raise $488. Their net gain, if everything went as planned, so the amount that they would make in total would be $488 minus the $196, which would be equal to $292 would be their profit. Once you decide you can afford to buy something, there are different ways to pay for it. Adults might choose one of the following ways: using a credit card, paying in cash, using a bank or debit card, writing a check. There are other ways to pay as well, for example using the internet or using special store programs. So using the internet we might mean like an e-transfer, often an Interac transfer, or you might also use Apple Pay directly from your phone, or Google Pay if you're using an Android phone, or maybe you might use something like PayPal if you're paying for something online. Key terms. Budget. A budget is a plan related to money. For example, a high school student who works part-time might plan that each time they're paid, they'll give 25% of it to their family, save 25%, and spend the other 50%. Cash is money in coins or bills. A check is a paper document that tells a bank to pay a specific amount of money from your account to the person or company whose name is on the check. A credit card is a card, typically from a bank, that allows you to purchase items and pay for them later. A debit card is a card, again typically from a bank, that you can use to pay for things, to get cash, or to transfer money from your account to someone else's. Your turn.